Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the RankKing's court.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? It is Tuesday, 6:30. The RankKing's court is live on Tuesday.
Live
On Tuesday.
Live
on
Tuesday.
Live and in charge. Here we are live.
Live and in living color, the baby.
Live and live in color. So, yes, welcome everyone. Tuesday is here. We're here. 6:30 is the time. We got a hell of a subject. I am Austin, the Rank King.
He had to pause for a second to make sure.
Forgot who he
Yeah,
was.
he did. Just for a second.
It's hard to remember your own name when King is in front of it.
It was also a lot of
saying.
Taco Bell starting to get to him
There
too.
is.
I bet.
It's hard to
The
call
Baja
yourself
Blast is
King.
starting to. The Baja Blast is starting to swig along. But
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yeah.
as always, we have Oracle Vo and Noble Knight Greg. How we doing, boys?
We're good. We're back. Another week.
Yeah, I'm a little distracted by Vo forgetting to wear a hat today. This is
That's
throwing me off.
so. I'm looking
His hair-
at it too. It
His
looks
hair
like
is
the
very aggressive.
as much as the Oracle can see everything, it's hard for him to see when his hair covers over his eyes.
Yeah,
So
no,
It's
his
covering my eyes.
No.
I can see.
but it's very high, man. Like
very high.
way up there.
Just- but you know what?
Go higher if you want.
Donate
Ah.
bits and we'll buzz Vo's hair.
Buzz
right
my
now.
hair,
You're not
no.
buzzing my head.
How many bits determines if we buzz Vo's hair
We're
right
not-
now?
That's not happening.
You know
Greg,
what?
get the razor.
I mean, we could.
We're playing this all along.
I don't know where we get razors from, but then again, I mean, we are. It's possible they might have some at the studio, but I'm not even gonna question that one.
Probably somewhere around here.
Absolutely.
Well, I'd be a little rude right now if I didn't introduce our guests for tonight. We had Ian on here, and I couldn't leave out the fact that Keaton, welcome as a guest of the RankKing's court.
Oh, thank you for having me. Glad to be on there for this subject.
Yeah, which we'll get to in a sec.
Yeah.
If anyone
this is the-
hasn't been.
Kitty, this is the first time I've seen you on a Thoughts from the Bench property since I believe it was the Steelers and Bengals preview, which you were able to gloat about, so I give you credit for that. However, I am aware too that you still have not delivered coffee to my producer, so he's gonna come at
He's
you
gonna
now.
find you.
He will
gonna
find
find
you, and
you.
he will demand that coffee at some point, bud. So you're gonna have to get it eventually.
Honestly, you might just want to upgrade to a cappuccino at this point.
I might
just
have
might.
to. Or I'll double or nothing on this season.
What was it? It wasn't even a bet. It was just because you're an intern.
It was just that he wanted a coffee.
Yeah.
No,
He
I
was
bet
just like,
no,
"Can I have a coffee?"
no, I bet him that the first time the Steelers played the Bengals that the Bengals would win.
Oh yeah, you idiot.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
I legit thought that Josh just said, "Give me a coffee," and as the intern and as the lowest level of TFTB, that you were in the right to give him one. I don't see
No.
what was wrong with that.
No,
No,
just 'cause
Go ahead, Key.
I bet the Bengals would win game one, and then after I lost that one, I bet him that I don't have to buy him one if they won game two. He didn't like that offer though.
No,
So you
I
didn't
wouldn't
accept
either. I
that,
want my
yeah.
damn coffee.
Yeah, you wanted coffee.
Do you have any idea how important coffee is to all of us here?
I literally drink it every day, and if I don't have it, I die.
We have
Never-
a sponsor.
This
who
is
a
called
coffee
addiction.
Producer.
This is
Never
called
had a cup
addiction.
in my life.
It's terrifying actually that coffee is like the most addictive property next to like nicotine and alcohol. Like it's nuts. It's the most addictive thing.
Please drink it black. It's actually healthy for you.
I drink black coffee. Greg.
It's healthy for you. You're fine.
I offered to give him money for the coffee. He wanted me to actually bring it to him.
He it's not about the money for him, Key. It's about the principle.
Damn right.
It's about the principle what LSS. But Yes. So Keith, thank you for being on here tonight. Before we get into how last week's topic was and what we're going to talk about tonight, where the hell are we, boys?
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys are in separate parts of
that's-
the
yes,
area. Yeah.
That's
You guys
a
are
real
in,
question.
yeah, you guys are in different areas, but Vo and I are live today from Union Fitness Studios, located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out with a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength, and performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe that it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values that make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today to sign up for a consultation. Through Union, there is strength. All right.
Oh, come on.
Can't tell what
Keith.
arm you use, Vo. I think we use the same arm. We're rusty.
Right arm.
Right
Done.
arm. Right arm.
Keaton slacking.
Yeah, he really is. There
There we
you
go.
go.
There he goes. There he goes. There
It's
he
just
goes.
off
He'll
the
learn.
camera.
There you
It's
go.
off the
There you
Pretend,
go.
pretend like you've seen this before. Come on.
So, last week we had a very interesting conversation, more of a competition, and boy, did the shits hurt afterward. That's what I'm telling you. We discussed
Believe it.
everything that was man versus food last week, and I thought that everything was appropriately judged. I don't think a lot of people were like, I think if you're going to a show like this and you're seeing the subject like this, I think more of the line is, holy shit, there's food. Let me watch it so I can get hungry.
I think that is definitely the way to go here because
Oh, no.
food makes everything better.
I think. There
Oh,
you
he
go. I was
froze
wondering
for
where you're
a
going with
second
that.
There.
He
He's
did.
just like,
Scared me
because
for a
food.
second.
Yeah, I think it's our internet connection. It's going to be a little wonky.
Oh, Lord.
That's okay.
But-
We'll make it through.
But yeah, conquered 20 nugs. And I will say,
3 minutes and 2 seconds, by the way.
well, I know. So here's the thing.
That was
I
impressive.
might be patting myself on the back here. I might be bragging when I say that I may have slowed
cheated.
down. No, I may have like slowed down for the last like 10 or so seconds because I was like, looking at the camera. I'm like,
see,
You
this.
didn't look at the camera once.
See, this is your problem.
did.
He spent
No,
too
you
much.
didn't.
He spent too much time thinking about showboating and playing to the crowd that he did not think about the mission at hand. Also, I think he used too many dipping sauces.
I think that the dipping sauces was a good strategy to spread it around. But I'm saying if I didn't screw around, I probably would have finished in under 3 minutes.
Ah, it's a bold statement.
I was trying to get you to look at the camera, and you weren't looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to get scared.
Austin,
I
That's what I'm
literally-
saying. You never looked at the camera.
I
Austin-
went back and watched
You
it.
watched the
and
film?
I watched the film and I saw the first thing that
he
voted.
did tape study.
He took like the entire thing of nuggets and just was like, ah. And I was like, what in the hell is he? But he was like, nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Keaty, do you
Imagine
think
if
you
I
can?
would have done that?
Keaty, do you think you can eat 20 chicken McNuggets in under 3 minutes?
Under 3, no. I've done one food competition with Austin. We ate each got 10 items off the dollar menu at Taco Bell, and it was a long and painful process to go through.
Yeah.
I believe
That's-
it.
I
believe
believe
it.
it. Yeah.
All we had to do, it was really simple. Like I said, you know what? Let's challenge ourselves a little bit with this and just get one of each thing off the value menu, like 10 different things. I should have just got 10 goddamn cheesy roll-ups and the shit would have been done in like
That's
less than.
That's your problem, yeah.
But I wanted to be, and I think I finished 8. I think Keaton finished 6. I think that's what happened. He was either 6 or 7, Key. I don't remember. But
7.
those tostadas killed me. That's what I'll say. But enough about my obsession with fast food and my overweight complexure. We move on to tonight's episode. If you haven't noticed, Key's background is a little bit of the sport because tonight, sorry, Hodo, we talking baseball in this bitch.
Baseball.
Play
Baseball.
America's pastime.
America's pastime.
Baseball,
Key-
hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Goddamn America. Key, I want to ask you a real quick. I want to ask you a real quick question first, Key. Besides the Pirates, I think I know the other team, but is there because I know everybody has a secondary team. For instance, Greg with football has the Detroit Lions as his secondary team. My secondary team for football is the New Orleans Saints. What's your secondary baseball team? I'm honestly curious because I think it changes from here to there depending on the season. but like, what's your go-to like number 2 team?
Go-to number 2 is another bottom feeder in baseball, but they have won a World Series in the last couple of years, but is the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
I like it. I like that. I've never been to Kauffman Stadium. I've always wanted to go, though. I've heard it's amazing.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
I was told it's very child-friendly. They have
Oh, that's lame.
Ferris
Perfect
wheels
for you,
and a
Aw.
bunch of
You got a
bunch
Ferris
of
wheel?
things for their kids. Yeah, they have Ferris wheel at the stadium.
Can
but
you
it's all-
imagine? Can you imagine just being on the Ferris wheel and someone hits a home run and you just get decked in the skull as you're riding the Ferris wheel?
I mean,
Just
if you-
like, oh my God, my child.
I mean,
But
if you
home
go,
run, yes.
I mean, if you go to Altoona, which is where the Pirates AA team is, there's a roller coaster in the outfield.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Like, there's been home runs that have hit the roller coaster, too. I don't know if it's hit anyone in particular, but they definitely happen.
You're like putting your arms up for the roller coaster and you just catch the fly
Right.
ball.
Exactly.
That'd be insane.
I know for a fact, I'm not going to spoil what the movie is, but there is a movie where in the final game, they have like a indoor, like not indoor, holy shit. They have like a water park slide thing that's in like the background near the scoreboard. So people can like go down like a water slide while watching a baseball game. And I think that's dope. So, but yeah, baseball is the subject tonight, guys. I'm excited because, as we all know, I'm a huge fan of stickball.
Big.
Huge.
Huge.
Huge
Ginormous.
guy.
Colossal.
Ginormous. So let's stop wasting time here, and let's bring about the first radical ranking that we're going to get into. Alrighty, guys. So the first one might have a little bit of something to do with what happened more recently, but we are going to be talking the top worst baseball scandals.
There's always something in baseball, too.
There's always something in every sport. Someone's trying to gyp anybody that has anything or screw around or cheat or anything. I just recently watched a highlight where pitchers of the pitching cheating scandals that were going on with like players rubbing like petroleum jelly on a baseball. So just be better.
Just play the game.
Why you gotta cheat?
Just play the game.
Why you gotta be?
Yeah, I mean, everyone tries to find a little thing to help them with. And baseball's prevalent just because, in terms of age, baseball is probably the one sport where guys can play into, if you're good enough, can play into like their mid-40s, late 40s if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, at that age, you're talking like for the NFL, you're talking like NFL kicker or Tom Brady.
That's Tom Brady. Yeah, exactly.
Or Tom Brady, yeah. I mean, unless you're Adam Vinatieri, then you're just playing until you're dead. So, I mean,
Are
who
you
the
saying
hell
he
knows?
died now?
No, he didn't die. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
he
he's
didn't.
done playing.
Yeah, he's retired. I mean, he
Just
was
said
like
he's playing till
40.
he's dead.
He was like 44, 45. I
killed
mean, they're
Adam
basically
Vinatieri.
dead
First
at
you
that
killed
point.
Foreigner, and now you're killing Vinatieri.
I don't give it. Talk about shit. Foreigner was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go to that 2 beers deep."
Yeah,
you stay right here where you belong. Damn it!
He wasn't
on the
too,
RankKing's
He
court.
wasn't too happy about the rejected trade proposal.
I love where things are at. I don't love to mess things up. So I will say with that. So all these scandals were brought about through cheating methods, through gambling, anything that you can really, really think about through baseball. So let's start off with number 5, which I simply titled collusion.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of a broad topic,
is.
so you're going to have
It
to
is.
like
It is.
detail this one a little bit.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
dive
It is.
in there.
So dive right in,
Dive
swing
right
the
in
bat.
there.
I will say. So this is all where the, if I remember correctly, I'm like just trying to search it up as I'm going, but I'm going as I'm talking. The general managers, I want to say it was the general managers, got together and decided that they wouldn't trade or pick up any free agents from certain teams that were in their broad spectrum. So instead, with that, they kind of like colluded with each other to try to make their own teams better. And obviously, the MLB found out and were pissed about how this whole thing was going. But I'll search it up real quick so you guys will talk about the whole thing. Give me one quick second.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
I just want to
This was like the 1980s, I want to
Oh.
say.
Yeah,
It
the
was like in the 80s.
1980s.
Worst baseball scandal.
Yeah, Keedy, like when I think of this and I think of collusion, like I mean, I understand like certain general managers like working with others just based off of, having a relationship and all that, but I don't want
Oh,
to
so it wasn't general manager. Okay, so I got it. So in 1985, 1986, and 1987, MLB team owners operated under a handshake agreement to not sign other teams' free agents. The idea was to suppress salaries and defeat free agency as a tool for the players.
Oh, okay. Now I get that part.
It worked, obviously. In each of those 3 years, the average MLB salary flattened, and marquee free agents waited and waited for offers that never came. Players that got impacted by this include Kirk Gibson, Tim Raines, Jack Morris, Paul Molitor, and Carlton Fisk. Only 4 in one of the seasons. Only 4 of 36 free agents changed teams.
Wow.
Keedy, I want to like touch on this with you because I mean, MLB free agency in general nowadays is almost kind of like this same pace as well because teams now never want to spend on free agents because the whole prevailing thought is it's easier to use guys in your system and then also to just pay them crumbs instead of spending money on a free agent and then losing draft pick compensation for it. So this is kind of like in that same wheelhouse, but what's different, I would give credit on this one, is that free agency was very recent when it was first implemented in Major League Baseball. I believe it was late 70s, early 80s. So I can understand this. And this also just kind of preaches back to the old adage, too, that it's just there's always been a bad relationship between owners and players.
Yeah, I mean, talk about owners now. They get lucky with arbitration, and that if you're really bad during your season of arbitration, you don't really get paid. So you're really looking at that. And for this one, back in the '80s, owners not wanting to pay guys to keep players around as long as they could, especially way back early when baseball started, that they owned your contract until they didn't want you anymore. It didn't matter when you were there, how long, if you wanted to leave, you were a part of that team as long as they wanted you to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is just, it kind of was like a retrospective to like the MLB being the boss of a company and the owners being like the workers and sticking it to the man. I don't know why, but somehow the glass breaking Stone Cold Stunner just makes me think of like, oh, you think you're hot shit? Stunner means not getting paid. Stunner, not getting paid. Like this is what it was for that for me.
Yeah, I like it, Austin, but I would also preface that MLB still does this. Like they're still going through this now.
So I mean, yeah, you think about that, and it's important, obviously, because it's still impacting today. But I don't think in as much of a greater scheme as it was way back then.
That's fair.
So
that's very fair.
Let's move on to our number 4. The rigged World Series of 1918.
God damn it, I wish this was higher. I wrote a research paper on this when I was in 8th grade about the Black Sox scandal.
Oh, this is not wrong one.
Different.
Which one's 18?
This is 18. So I'll hatch it because Greg, you're thinking of, and it might come later. You're thinking it might come later. Might come. So the rigged World Series of 1918, basically following a shortened season and tight payroll restrictions from ownership during the First World War, a group of players on the Cubs reportedly hatched a scheme to lose games and profit from it during the Fall Classic against the Red Sox. Most historians point to the play of Max Flack, who made a few suspicious miscues in the outfield during the 1918 series, which the Cubs lost 6 games.
Ah, that's true, because this was a 9-game World Series originally before they shortened it to 7.
9 games.
Each player received $10,000 to swing the Fall Classic. So they took $10,000 to take a dive. And back in World War I, that's a shit ton of money.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
That's a shit ton of money. So I think of this all the time when like bookies and everything, they have clients that box. They're like, yeah, I kind of owe these people a bunch of money. I'm going to need you to take a dive here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to take a dive, Johnny. Come on, take a dive now. Help your old man out. I raised you, basically. Like, that's kind of what I feel with this. And naturally, it wasn't the coach that organized this. It was the players, which I guess the coach was interviewed. And he was just like, I don't know. Like, I just thought my guys
Yeah,
were shit. I
no-
don't know.
No, that makes sense because, I mean, manager's not going to be able to pay attention to what their players are doing outside the game. So it makes total sense that, like, they would – so, like, bookies or, you know, people from, like, from mobs or something would actually be willing to try to get into them on this, and they would have no idea about it.
Austin, it says the Red Sox only scored 9 runs the entire series.
Oh, fuck.
So that's the fewest runs scored by any World Series winning team.
Yeah, so obviously something was going on. So, Key, your thoughts on that? Like, obviously, like, you pride yourself on teams not tanking and doing what they're supposed to do, but it's the World Series. Like, it's the goddamn Super Bowl of the MLB. So,
Yeah, I think the money definitely played a way too large a part in that decision. I mean, you look at the Cubs from that point on, they didn't really win anything till 2016.
there's one Josh Elsess out there. I'm not saying this about the Cubs. He is. I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs look worse than the Pirates right now, so Josh can say whatever he wants. But yeah, I mean, definitely not a huge fan of tanking, especially in such a predominant World Series against the Red Sox.
That's true. Although the
Yeah.
Bengals have been taken for years. So,
And I also, like, and I'm realizing this too, because it's 1918, this was the last World Series the Sox won. And
It's
this
true.
is when the Curse of the Bambino started.
Yep.
So that makes a ton of sense now, which is funny in retrospect that it was the last one and they won just because the Cubs were cheating. That's hilarious.
Hey, Keaton, Deke says a fax machine's greater than Joe Mixon.
All right,
Nod
damn
his
it.
head.
We're
Just
not.
wanted to throw that
I
in there.
understand. We're not shitting on the Bengals yet. All right, we're in baseball.
Yet.
We're doing this.
Yeah, it is key.
So
There's a whole season coming.
Yeah,
there's
that's-
a whole.
We'll see when the regular season starts.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Let's go to number 3. The most recent. The most what the hell. I love this photo, by the way, so you guys can comment on that. The Astros and the trash can.
Oh, I love this photo so
Hey,
much.
It's a great picture.
Whoever came up with this is a
It's
genius.
Family Guy, of course.
Yeah.
The goddamn Oscar the fucking Grouch.
Yeah, it looked like Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I know this, but I'm gonna let you guys talk about this because I know that this was one of the biggest things in recent baseball history.
Yeah.
Of all this shit going on. So, Greg Key, take the wheel here on this one.
God, this is one of the more like intriguing type of scandals that I've ever happened, just because of the complexity with involving two. But basically, there's a story that came out that the Houston Astros were using essentially a relay by using a camera in the outfield, relaying it to the dugout, and trying to get an idea of what type of pitch was going to be coming. The trash can mindset was basically essentially the player at bat would hear a number of times it was banged, and that would be their indication to know what kind of pitch was what kind of pitch was coming. There was also like some other stuff that came out too that we don't know if it was for sure about. There was like the idea of there was like the conspiracy about the buzzer type thing that was like under dude's shirts. Like there was like the conspiracy because when Jose Altuve hit a home run, they were gonna like rip off his shirt, and he was like, no shirt, and that's where that conspiracy
I remember
came
that
from.
one. Yeah.
I saw that one.
That's where that conspiracy came from, but this basically kind of put a black eye on the Astros World Series that they won in 2018, I believe. It was either 2017 or 2018. I can't remember which one. But their GM was fired. Their manager was fired. And they really had to deal with the ramifications of this. They lost draft picks, too, being able to deal with that. Amazingly enough, they're actually doing pretty well this year. And there's always going to be that black eye over them, because what pisses me off about COVID happening is that we were robbed of the opportunity for the scandal to really, really play out in the majors, because that would have been great. But I digress. The Yankees are forever going to be like hating them too.
My question is, didn't other teams hear them banging on the trash can during the game? Like, wouldn't they question that?
Well, I think that I don't know if they timed it perfectly with when the pitch was thrown, because then it would hit with the bat. I don't know if that's entirely true or not. That's just me speculating. Big
No,
stickball guy over
it
here.
signals the catchers will make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a good question of myself. And I have to say, I think the crowds and everything, despite them being very low due to COVID, would still put a main part in sparking up a lot of noise. I don't know.
But if
The whole
what do you
trash
got?
can thing about the trash can, like, we all know what happened, but being there with fans and being at games, to me, how good of hearing do you have to hear the trash can at those stadiums on the field as a player to
That's what I'm
know?
saying, even on the Astros side, like they still have to hear that trash can.
That's true, but I would also
So-
argue that because it's like on a lower level, that
Yeah.
it might have been easier for them to hear.
But then the other team should hear it too.
I don't
right?
know, because they would be further away back as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Oscar the Grouch screwed Sesame Street. That's all I'm saying. So we move on to number 2 here. This is a doozy. The steroid era.
This was the best era in baseball, I feel like.
Yeah, because of all the
Yeah,
scoring,
okay.
but how much bullshit that went along with it. Oh my gosh. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, like, God.
I mean, as kids, we didn't know they're juicing
Of
up.
course, when we were kids, because we're like, look at that. That dude's superhuman. He's slamming grand slams left and right, let alone he's putting shit in a needle and taking
Well,
it to make
he
himself
corked
look
his
better.
bats too. It wasn't just steroids.
I don't remember the cork bat thing, but
I'm pretty sure Sosa was the one that corked his bats.
okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right on that one. Sosa, I do remember corking the bat, but it does suck because there was just an entire generation of guys that we grew up with, like not only these two, but Jose Canseco, Jason Giambi, Rafael Palmeiro, and some of these other guys. That Barry Bonds too,
Yeah.
the bigger one. Like these guys are never going to be in the Hall of Fame because of their use of steroids, and it's not even pitchers too. Like Roger Clemens is never going to be in the Hall of Fame because he used performance enhancing drugs too. So
And
it's
it's still going, and now even nowadays, people are still getting suspended for PEDs usage.
yeah, it's not as prevalent as it used to be though. I will give you that, Keedy, but at the same time, I agree. It's very unfortunate that an entire era and generation that we grew up with is just never going to get the recognition that it deserves because of what they did for the game, and now all their records and stuff are basically gone. The only person from that era that actually did was accurate on that. Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey, yeah.
Ken Griffey, yeah.
My boy.
He was my favorite player growing up.
I was gonna say, I think he was like a lot of people's, like next to like the Barry Bonds and the Sammy Sosas. Like Ken Griffey was like, I would say like, now personally, not being a huge stickball guy, my personal favorite was Randy Johnson.
Oh yeah.
That's just how like that dude's full ass mustache going up there being how tall. That's intimidating as hell. That was Big Bird swinging a fucking thing at 90 miles an hour at you.
Used to be on a team together, him and Griffey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mariners.
Crazy
I do
enough.
remember that, yeah.
Hot take before we move on to number 1. I don't care. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Don't even care.
Thank you.
Pete Rose, put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in the Hall of Fame, damn it.
Thank you, kind sir. He does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
That man just wanted to gamble. God-given
On
right to
himself.
gamble. Doesn't matter. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Don't be stupid about this, MLB. Come on. And we finally hit our number 1. Greg might have jumped the gun on it, but here we go.
I do remember it now.
The 1919 Black Sox scandal.
God.
So now, Greg, you may interpret your middle school, you said?
Yeah, middle
paper?
school. So, the basic background on this: Charles Comiskey was the original owner of the White Sox, where it was named Comiskey Field. Charles Comiskey was also notoriously cheap and did not pay his players very well. The last World Series that they won, their bonus was flat champagne. That was their bonus. So when they made it to the World Series again, they were going up against the Cincinnati Reds. This White Sox team was far superior than anyone. Like Shoeless Joe Jackson was their star player and all that. They ended up losing the World Series 5-3. This was a 9-game World Series back then. And 8 White Sox players were indicted on criminal charges, saying that they essentially threw the World Series to be paid money for it. But what's funny about it is during the World Series, they were down 4-1 at one point. The bookies were taking too long to pay them, so they actually decided, screw this, we're going to try to win out. They won games 6 and 7. Game 8, the starting pitcher for the White Sox was like apparently threatened, and also like they threatened to kill his wife if he didn't throw the game. So he did. And then there was a whole other basically a trial that occurred from it. And there was a written note that actually showed proof that they threw the World Series. The day before the final ruling on the trial, the evidence was stolen.
Who stole it?
It was stolen. No one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows. It's a mystery. That's why it's always been a thing. And the commissioner at the time, and I can't remember his name. I believe it was like Kennesaw Landis, I think his name was. But at the time, since the trial ended, they were found not guilty because there was no evidence. But the commissioner banned all 8 of them for life.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
And you were in middle school during all that.
That's
No.
what, yes. That's the comment. That's the comment that I wanted to read from Derek. 1919, Greg was in middle school.
Yeah.
Vampire confirmed.
I wrote a paper on them in middle school, so that's why.
In ink blots, and
In ink blots,
in ink
yeah.
blots, and sent it with an owl.
In ink blots. Yeah.
Bring this to my let's go. But yeah, the whole thing that was crazy about this is that they conspired with the mob.
Right.
Like,
Well, the
so
mob.
it's like,
But the
hey,
mob
Jimmy.
refused to pay them. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, take a dive out there. We'll break your wife's leg. Like, that's fucking nuts, man.
Mhm.
Like, and the fact that I think when I read, there was only like 2 confirmed. Like, there were 8 players, but there were 2
yes.
money confirmed. That the pitcher was paid $5,000 to pitch poorly.
Yes.
And I think it was the center fielder. It might be. I'm not entirely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's stated that Joe Jackson
Yeah.
never. No, it was stated that he never ever cheated in the series. He
Get
states
the hell out of here. But yeah, I think that's interesting because, like you, Greg, although in present time, I wrote a paper about the mob. It was a conspiracy that the mob and the government conspired to kill JFK. And ever since I
Ooh.
wrote that, I was like, all right, I'm probably on some FBI watch list or something at that point. Like, he's onto us. He's onto us. FBI, open up.
I
Like,
mean, if Looper taught us anything, like we know that the mob has their hand in everything.
all the thing that Looper taught me was I can jump in the sky and I could land somewhere else.
Yeah, that's also very true.
That's true. But yeah, I thought this was like one of the craziest things. Like, I didn't know a lot about it until I read it, and I was like, holy
Yep.
shit! Like, I mean, in that time period, like, I can see it. I can see
Right.
people wanting to take a pay cut or a payout to, throw something.
Well,
'cause-
you also got to think too that when you have an owner that's refusing to pay you guys and who's
Yep.
notoriously cheap,
Mm.
won't raise their salaries. I mean, this is the way to go. But then it's also just funny to think that the mob wasn't holding up their end of their bargain, so they had to resort to threatening in order to actually be able to get their bet to go through.
yeah, how about that? Doing everything you were told to do, and then the mob just being like, we're not gonna pay him.
Exactly.
Let him suffer it.
Yep.
Stupid shits.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just had to talk about that because with the Astros and the trash can scandal, I knew that there was probably a boatload more that were in, and I found them, and holy shit.
The only one that I wish you would have discussed is the mid-'80s Pittsburgh Pirates drug scandal.
I kind of substituted that with the whole steroid era. I think
That's what I figured.
having one with drugs, I think was, and maybe you could argue about the rigged World Series and like the 1919, series with like the Cubs and everything.
That's fair, yeah.
Black Sox, but yeah, I do remember that one too because I read a little bit on it. But I didn't put Pete Rose because he should be in the goddamn Hall of Fame. Let's go ahead and move to Radical Ranking number 2. In life, there is always the notion of oil and water, a quarter with 2 heads, and just something about people hating the shit out of each other.
Oh, it's like me
Shut
and you.
up,
Yeah,
Red.
yeah.
Hey!
It was perfect.
So, I mean, this isn't everything. Basketball, football, but baseball is a little bit interesting, right? Because I've been to games. I think I've been to one game where like the bench is cleared. And I want to say, Key, it might have been when we were in New York for the New York Red Sox. So that's all going to come later. Let's get into now the rules for this because I made it hard on myself for this.
Hey, there's Foreigner. Finally calling that
Oh, welcome. Yeah,
He
he
was
doesn't
having
get
issues.
traded, so he decides to show up late. I'm not paying him more. I'm telling you that. I made it harder on myself here. I couldn't mention another team more than once.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to get interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued by that.
So let's start off with arguably a team that everyone loves to talk shit on. So let's start off with number 5, Pirates versus Reds.
You know what? I will give you a lot of credit on this one because in the late 80s, early 90s, with like the Big Red Machine and that Pirate team, thank you, and that Pirate team that was like starting to come up together and stuff, they did not like each other.
Oh, hell no.
No.
I mean, you could even talk up to the more recent, which this photo is of, where Key, who's the player here? Because I'm drawing a blank.
I don't see the pictures, so
Oh yeah, that's right. It is the more recent thing where the bench is cleared for the Reds and the Pirates.
I'm assuming it's Amir Garrett.
That might be.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was Amir Garrett, yeah.
Yeah, he loves to fight people.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin, I got something
yeah.
to show you.
What?
Got something to show you.
I don't know what that.
It's a Cincinnati
I-
Reds
Cincinnati
keychain.
Reds keychain.
Oh no. Oh good.
What-
What are you?
No.
What are you, a Cincinnati boy? Is that your second team?
That's my second team.
Oh God.
Ever
Well, there you
since-
go, Key.
Ever since
How can
Ken
your
Griffey
second
went
team
there.
be in the division of your first team?
Well,
I love Ken Griffey, and when he went there, I had a Reds jersey, and I got the keychain, and
I mean,
I
in
just like 'em.
in fairness though, like in the early '90s, late '80s too, like the Reds were technically in the West and we were in the East. So I mean, like I understand it a little bit.
I mean, this is the argument that I say all the time with, Keaton being a Bengals fan. And honestly, I give him a lot of shit all the time for it, but I love the fact that he stuck with a person of interest for it. And that's one shout out to Cinco. Like, I mean, for a while, Keaton had the poster of Ocho Cinco facing the racehorse.
The racehorse was not drugged in that race.
It was drugged, Keaton.
Nope.
But for his whole
Chad
point,
Johnson wants to return.
but stop. But this is I draw a lot of comparisons with this though, with Ocho Cinco and the Bengals to Ken Griffey Jr. and the Reds between you and Vo. I see a lot of similarities with that. I really do. So, yeah, I thought this was a little fun one because I could not leave a Pittsburgh one off this list.
Yeah,
So
this is a good rivalry. Like
Oh, yeah.
recently, they've been going at it.
Yeah.
let's move on to number 4. Mets versus Phillies.
This one I can also get with as well. I think teams from the old NL East, especially the older one, like when the Pirates were there, when we played the Phillies, when we played the Mets, I thought those were great rivalries. But thankfully, the Phillies and the Mets still play each other because that's also, I think, pretty fun.
Key, any thoughts? I know you're like more of like, Pirates and Royals, but like there was a lot of shit thrown around with the Mets and the Phillies, and I think more of the ones that I love to see fight besides the players are the mascots. Like the mascots just beating the living shit out of each other. Guys that are getting paid less than basically I don't know what they're paid, but I assume it's like a little bit more than minimum wage to go out there in a suit.
You want to watch the Philly fanatic fight Mr. and Mrs. Met?
Oh, I would love that. I would pay money to see the Philly fanatic fight Mr. and Mrs. Mets.
That'd be entertaining.
2-on-1
Yeah, he
handicap
definitely
match.
would. He definitely would.
That'd
do
be
it.
entertaining.
2-on-1 handicap match in a steel cage. Let's put it in. But yeah, I mean, the Mets and Philly, like there's a lot of bad blood, obviously, between those two. So
I mean, it's Philly. What do you expect from?
don't talk shit about Philly, Keaton. There's a lot of Philly people that are out there like, hey, we got cheesesteak. What are you doing?
I mean, that's it.
I feel like you're taking a shot.
That's
at them
not.
Right there.
I don't know if that's a Philly accent though.
I love.
but-
It's not. But you know what?
Yeah,
What do you
grinders
eat?
on
You hate
grinders.
cheesecake? Or cheesesteak? Not cheesesteak.
I do love me some cheesesteak.
Yeah,
So
I also bet you love
with
you
the
some
whiz,
cheesecake.
with whiz. That's how you do it.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on to number 3. Another one of our loving members of Thoughts from the Bench, Josh. This one's for you. Cardinals versus Cubs.
Keaty, I don't know if you have the same feeling about me, but I hate the St. Louis Cardinals with a passion.
I am the opposite. I
Look at that
hate,
shit! What?
I hate with a passion the Cubs because I hate Rizzo and I hated Baez. But the Cardinals, they're the most, in my opinion, the most respectable ball club because they're never bad.
Here's the thing.
No matter who's on their team, they're always going to finish middle of the pack at least in our division. They're always going to be somewhat of a decent ball club.
See, that's why I hate them.
That's
why I hate them, because no matter what, they are such a well-built organization that you will never see them have a losing record, and it drives me fucking nuts because I am envious. I am envious of them.
So, Greg, I have this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That should be what every small market team aspires to be, is the St. Louis Cardinals. And for some reason, you can't get that, and it drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, you can look at them. Look at them right now. They got Bader and O'Neill and Carlson all coming up, and they're all good. And before that, they brought up when Yachty was first coming up,
right?
And when Oscar Tavares was there.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter's never gonna stop playing baseball. He'll just
Cole Wong. Wong, the Pirate Killer.
Wong's not there anymore. He's with the Brewers, I think.
Yeah, I know, but he was a Pirate Killer when he was there.
Yep.
Everyone was a Pirate Killer.
Yep.
Matt Adams when he was there.
Matt Adams.
They're all.
Yep. Adam Wainwright, Chris Carpenter,
Jim Edmonds,
Scott Rowland. God, I hate.
Didn't Renteria play for them?
Edgar Renteria played there for a little bit. Yeah. Fuck, I hate them.
They're a very well-oiled machine that they continue to crank out random rookies that are.
It drives me fucking nuts every single year. I want St. Louis to have just one bad year, just one, and I will be happy. Just one.
So here's
year.
putting to my brain, me just having a football brain and knowing football. Greg, if you have this opinion about them, then you technically should hate Clemson, Alabama. Like, those guys keep winning. I mean,
Steelers.
No, we're at college football, Keaton.
Well,
No.
See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with the Alabama Clemson mindset is like they are like elite of the elite, and they actually are places that people want to go. You don't see free agents go to St. Louis. St. Louis just has a recurring pipeline that they, for some reason, and they're never even like highly sought after either. This isn't this isn't a club that always is in the tippy top when it comes to like prospect rankings and all that stuff. They just know how to fucking develop guys.
There's something in the water.
Yes, and it's ridiculous. I can never for the life of me figure out what the hell it is with St. Louis and why they always seem to be able to put out a great club every single year, and it drives me apeshit.
So so to save time, I'm going to go through 2. You guys can make your comments on it or not, because we got a little bit of a debate we got to get to, which I don't think it will last long, depending on what all goes on. I don't think it will. Okay. But number 2, Dodgers versus Giants.
Love this pick, bud. This is the only series that I know of that fans get into fights on and have ended up in the hospital for, too. So
that's not true. Suns in 4.
Oh, screw that.
Talking about baseball here.
I listen. That video still cracks me up. But yeah, Key, your thoughts? Dodgers versus Giants.
Especially for right now, it's definitely a very heated rivalry right now with the Giants, who aren't supposed to be as good as they are right now, running that division, and the Dodgers continue to try and chase them with as much money as they can continuously feed into that franchise. But it's a great division, great rivalry out there in the western part of this great country. But
very true.
Yeah, they're not two of the teams I'm a huge fan of.
You don't have to be a fan of to know that they hate each other.
They are
Oh,
fun to
they
watch.
they definitely do not like each other.
No.
Yeah, big fights, Morgan says.
Too many.
But they don't hate as much of each other as this number one. It's obvious, and I know this personally because I'm a little bit of a secondary Yankees fan.
Oh no.
New York
Really?
Yankees, Boston Red Sox.
Why are you a
Sucks.
secondary Yankee fan?
Just damn. How it
They
was.
win.
I mean,
They win.
A-Rod, Jeter, like it was an all-star team, man. That's why I was a big fan of betting on the Nets all the time because I know I'd get my money worth it.
No, see, I used to be a secondary Red Sox fan. Used to, because I was like a fan of the Veritek, Johnny Damon, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Pedro team, yeah. And then after I saw them making a lot of the same stuff that I would see the Yankees do, like the Carl Crawford signing, and then all the other like ridiculously overpriced stuff that they would do, I was like, yeah, I'm good. So I don't.
I
really...
mean, this rivalry just brought so much, man. I mean, the curse of the Bambino obviously being the big one, like just great content. I mean, if this was like a web series back in the day, this shit would have billions into it, like billions. Not that it doesn't have it already, but I think that, you know, having it like for a platform would be just amazing. Just a, you know, Boston Red Sox guy like walking into a house like, hey, where's the beer? And the Yankee guy like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. Like, just like that would just be, and then just fight ensues. I mean, it's basically like the baseball at Jersey Shore. I mean, I think that would be wonderful to see.
It's a great point, bud.
Yeah, this is one series, like, when it was always on TV, like, I made sure to watch it.
Yeah.
It was, like, all the time.
Keedy, any thoughts on your part?
Well, the Red Sox, I'm at a third team. It would be the Red Sox. So I've been to a Red Sox-Yankees game, and I know for a fact that you don't go to a Yankees game as a Red Sox fan, or you will get flipped off.
Funny as shit.
I believe it.
With a not only getting flipped off, but the guy had the Yankees logo on his middle finger.
It was the greatest thing ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He is purely New York. The Bronx do not like Boston, and there will never be a time that I don't like watching the Yankees Red Sox play, because it's always going to be a bloodbath between players and fans.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful quick story I mentioned with this because that entitles to it. The guy literally walked up and saw myself in like Yankees attire and my family and the rest of the Red Sox. He's like, drunkenly goes, what the hell's wrong with the rest of your family? And I'm sitting there like 13. I'm like, sir, I'm just trying to watch a game. And then just goes ahead and flips off my
That's
family.
amazing.
I just see the Yankee symbol. And I'm like, okay, this dude's the real deal.
That's
like
funny.
These fans are like the fans of the Grateful Dead that will follow everyone around. But like, the Dead's the best band. Like, that's how it is, man.
Yeah.
You don't mess with the Yankees if you're a Sox, and you don't mess with the Sox if you're a Yankee. It's just, it's a battle of the bloods.
Couple quick honorable mentions I will obviously throw out. The Subway Series, Mets and Yankees, that goes without saying. White Sox, Cubs, obviously, that will go without saying. Dodgers and Padres is starting to get back up there as well. Underrated one also is Astros and Yankees as well for obvious reasons. And then also a low-key one, Brewers and Cubs, actually. Brewers and Cubs is a good rivalry, too.
You got to throw in the big rivalry that everyone on MLB continues to write about this week. Got an article today from MLB. Astros-Dodgers series this week for a 2-game series.
Oh.
That is going to be a bloodbath because the Dodgers fans were literally lighting on fire Jose Altuve jerseys in the streets because how much they hate Altuve.
This is the first time they're playing each other, too, since that World Series.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so
It's
this
going to be. I mean,
one.
it's no people hitting Myles Garrett or Mason Rudolph over the head with helmets. So, I mean, it's not that rivalry, but it is a one to.
It could get there.
It could.
It definitely could get there.
It very well could. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. It's time for the great debate. All right, guys. So here's what we're doing. Okay, there are 4 of us. I want the 2 baseball fanatics, being Keaton and Greg, You're going to pair with me, Key. And Vo's going to pair with Greg. And together, the two of us are going to battle the two of them to draft the best baseball team.
Okay, what are the parameters on this? Like,
Yeah,
in
are
terms-
we-
Parameters, so I left it up to you guys. We could do all time or we could do
Oh.
current.
I
I would think maybe it's all depending on what the group wants to do. I may be a monarchy, but I understand when my place is out of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would
We
say
can
all
do-
time.
All right. So
we
we'll-
want to do all time.
I'm
mean, that
not,
works
I'm not
for
up to date
me.
with current players.
yeah.
So.
Here's what we'll do. We'll do pitcher, catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, and then 3 outfielders because outfield you
So-
can kind of maneuver around a
Yeah.
lot. So that's
Okay. So, Foreigner, you marvelous son of a bitch, you may be in the chat. I hope you're in the chat because I appreciate your words. Who goes first?
How are we gonna do this?
Keaton and myself, the Moorhead clan? Or is it Vo and Greg?
and yeah, and also you can pick anyone like in any order. Like you don't have to go
Right.
starting
There's
pitcher
no,
first.
there's not too many rules on this.
Yeah.
Like if you want to take a pitcher first, you get to take your pitcher first. I'm not gonna bite the bullet on this. Believe me and my stickball knowledge.
Yep.
So
Yep.
But yes, this is the first ever tag team debate. So I thought this would be a little bit interesting. Also, Derek says Keaton's pick counts as 3
Because
he's cute.
it's a high
Thank you,
That's a
Dick.
high compliment, Keaty. You should be flattered by that.
is it the haircut, Derek? Is it the fade?
All I know is that Morgan is not too hype on Greg and Vo being teamed together.
We got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, this is one of the few times that we'll be able to learn to interact well together.
Well, I think this is a good team building exercise for you guys as well. I think this could help
Literally-
in the long run.
Literally, when we just said that we don't like each other. I love it.
Derek said it's the lack of the Amish beard, but yes, it's the fade.
Yeah. I don't think Foreigner's in the chat right now. So because I'm polite on this one, I
I'll let
think
you guys go.
yeah, we'll let you guys go first.
Okay, so Key, I'm gonna do this so that we do the part of it. You can talk to me about it. I'm gonna pick the position that we go with first, and then you
Alright.
can pick the player. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, let's start off with, I think, the most important position personally in baseball, and that's the pitcher.
All right. Let's take a look. I will take for our team. We will take.
Yeah, we will. This is
We
a
will.
team draft.
We will.
We will.
we will take the one and only Lefty Grove.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Good pitcher. I don't hate that.
Who's that?
Former Philadelphia Athletic and Boston Red Sox pitcher.
I might have went
Yeah.
with the man with the
Hall
mustache.
of Fame.
but-
Hall of Famer.
What was his name?
Lefty Grove.
Lefty Grove. I didn't hear
Mhm.
it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine, Bo.
So I'm fine with Grove being our pitcher because, like I said, you know more about this than I do. That's why you're the guest tonight. So now it comes down to the boys.
I think
Position, what player?
I think we should go with our pitcher, and I'm just gonna offer this right here, Sandy Koufax.
I like it.
Easy one from the top. Yep. We should have taken
Oh.
Pablo Sanchez. Fuck, that would have been a good one. Yeah.
Shut the fuck.
God damn.
He also said wild thing. So you make my heart sing.
No, we're not taking Rick Vaughn.
Gotta love it. All right.
Is it Koufax? Like
You can say it like that, but it's fine.
I think now we'll go to us, and I think honestly, probably the next best position that I remember from being hit, 20 times in a season in baseball and Little League. I think that the shortstop is the next best position on the field. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would say yeah, it's definitely up there.
Usually is a good position.
Okay, so we'll do shortstop. So, Key, what shortstop are we taking?
We're going to take one of the greatest shortstops to ever touch the field, the longest streak of games played. We'll take the Cal Ripken Jr.
Great pick.
That is a good pick.
Great pick, bud.
And that streak will never be broken because baseball players don't play that many games in a row anymore.
Yeah, I agree. That streak will never, ever be broken. DiMaggio's I don't even think will ever be broken either.
All right, Bo, you got that one?
Yep.
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
You boys are up.
I'll let you pick this one. What are you thinking?
I mean, I want to go Ken Griffey just because he's my favorite player.
Let's do that. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'll feel Ken Griffey.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's not a bad pick, man.
Yeah, outfield, Ken Griffey Jr.
Gotta love that. All right. What are we thinking, Key? What's our next position? I would say outfield, but maybe I want to do interior first.
Outfield is fine with me. That's what you want to go
Right.
for.
All right, let's do one of the outfielders then.
We will take the one and only Willie Mays Hayes.
Hey, Willie Mays Hayes.
Wait a
Are
second.
we taking real people?
Yeah. Wait.
We'll
dude.
take Willie Mays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was like, wait a second, Keating. I respect. I respect
you
it.
could say we threw you a curveball.
Wow.
so to speak.
Good job, Austin.
Wow. That was entertaining. I
The
will give
king,
you that.
boys. Can't touch it.
Jesus.
So Willie Mays, outfield. You guys are up.
Trying to think about this. This is a good one. We already got a starting pitcher. We got one of our outfielders. Willie Mays would have been actually a pretty good one. What are you thinking? I'm kind of struggling on this one a little bit.
Derek Jeter. Shortstop.
Shortstop? Yeah, sure. Derek
Okay.
Jeter. Okay. Yeah, shortstop Derek Jeter. Give us the captain.
Cool. I mean, there's something about when like you're in the retirement of your career and like your last thing hits up and the crowd just goes wild for you. Like you made a mark on the sport. Like
Yeah.
I think that's the craziest thing about it, man.
And the little kid
Gotta
tips
love
his
it.
cap to you.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
His flip against the Athletics will go down as one of my favorite plays of all time.
Oh God, yeah, it was completely off kilter too. It was unbelievable. No one thought he was gonna actually get that.
All right. Where are we going, Key? Let's just take a shot in the dark and say third base.
All right. With our third base pick, we'll pick someone that I am fond of because he is on one of my second favorite team. We'll take third baseman George Brett.
Ooh, I like that. That was pretty cool. Also, another guy that got caught with a cork bat,
Yes.
but still.
Shh. That's not the point
They're
here.
all over.
That's not the point here.
Not the point, but I like that. That's good. Okay, so I'm thinking. Let's go with another outfielder. Probably one of the greatest hitters of our generation that no one ever talks about. Give me Tony Gwynn.
That's a solid pick, Greg.
That's a nice one, actually. I remember that name.
Yep. Tony Gwynn is someone that does not get his just due and definitely deserves it.
Gotcha. All right, Key. Let's take one more crack at the outfield. What do we got?
One more crack at the outfield. We'll take. I don't think we can take an outfielder and not take one of the greatest players to ever play the game in Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with, Key.
Bravo.
Got the hot dog eating, smoke up, hit the ball over the fence.
The
Brad.
Shohei Ohtani before the Shohei Ohtani.
That's a wow.
Oh, I got one.
Okay, good. What you got?
Let's go catcher.
Okay.
Yogi Berra.
Like it. I like it.
Took me a minute to be like, hey, boo-boo.
I was about to picnic basket. We're just going to be drafting a bunch of Yankees, aren't we?
That's what it seems like.
I'm fine with it, but still,
I mean, they have some of the greatest players to ever
they
play the
really,
game.
they really do.
Derek says Greg hates Otani.
It's a running joke on Two Beers Deep. Just let it be.
All right, Key, do we want to finish out the outfield?
We can definitely do that. I will take someone from the present day, and I think someone who will finish as one of the greatest players to ever play the game if he ever stays healthy for a full season. But I will take Mike Trout.
There you go.
Ah,
Team's already won. We're already won. We got Bambino and the Trout man. Let's go.
that was good. I say we also wrap up our outfield, and I say we
Let's do
go.
it.
I say we go with one of the greatest Yankees of all time. Give me Mickey Mantle.
So we're
Would you
sticking-
argue
we're
this-
sticking with the Yankees?
We are basically, but I'm okay with it.
The Yankees
Goddamn
plus-
all-star
plus
team
Ken
hating on
Griffey.
an all-star. Yeah. Okay, Key, what do we got left? We got catcher, we got first base, and second base. That's what we got left.
Yeah.
All right. Shits and giggles.
Where's Polanco? Take Polanco.
Oh,
No.
God.
Let's finish out. Let's do our catcher.
If we're gonna do our catcher, I will take someone I'm very.
There's a lot of
fond
I
being-
here when there's a two people team.
I think there's a
Key.
reason for that, bud.
Hey, I'm listening to positions. I'm doing something. Big stickball guy.
Who I am fond of a lot behind the plate defensively, and that is Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez.
Oh, that's also a good,
I like that.
good pick.
That was really good, bud.
There's too many great catchers to think about.
I would love to see like these two teams play each other.
I agree.
I don't think. I really don't think there'd be. You could argue there wouldn't be a score, or there would be too high of a score.
Right.
So we need what? First, second, and third.
Yeah. I think for first, I think we should go with. I personally think we should go with a guy who is the last one to hit the Triple Crown, Miguel Cabrera.
I like it.
You're naming names, I know. So this is.
I'm trying to help you out a little bit, just so you're familiar with some of this stuff.
Hey, not help me, help you. We got Ruth, boy. That's all we need.
You got Roof.
You got Ruth,
Babe Ruth.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know what roof you got, but okay.
Ruth.
Bo Jackson, Chip once.
Bo
Yeah,
Jackson.
he
would've been
says
great.
no.
We're not
Bo
taking-
Jackson.
we're not taking Bo.
Bo Jackson would have been great.
All right, Key. Any preference, first base, second base?
We can just stay on the first base since they just took theirs.
That's fine. Let's do that.
We will take someone who is, I'm assuming Greg is not a huge fan of because he's played on, seems to be one of Greg's least favorite teams, but who's still around at this old age of his and also lied about his age to get into the league, and that is Albert Pujols.
Yep, I hate Albert Pujols too. I for sure hate.
I hated him. He used to kill us.
Yeah, I for sure hated Albert Pujols.
So where are we at?
We need second and third base. I think our third baseman. We're gonna throw a bone to our state rivals. We're gonna go with Mike Schmidt
Solid pick.
Ooh.
from the Phillies.
Okay. All
Okay.
right, Key. Okay. All right. Let's finish it out, Key. Second base.
Okay.
We got second base left. There's only one guy who's changed the game of baseball at second base, and that would be the Jackie Robinson.
Good.
That's true.
There's no star for this team.
That's very true. Robinson, you can maneuver around a lot, so that actually works out very well for you.
Wait, he played second base?
He played everywhere, man.
I know that.
I don't know what position he did not play.
Yeah.
He was prominent though at second base. I know that.
Mhm.
So.
All right.
All right, guys.
I didn't have one.
Your last pick.
What are you thinking for second base?
He didn't play second base.
Okay. Well,
He played every infield position besides second base,
oh, okay.
I think.
So there's two guys I'm thinking of for second base. Either Joe Morgan or Roberto Alomar.
Let's go Alomar.
Alomar? Okay. Roberto Alomar for second base.
All right, you guys know the rules as well. For those that are watching, you know the rules of the Great Debate at this point. We're going to put these on social. You will vote to see what team kicked the other team's ass. Who will score a home run here? Who will strike out and walk the walk of shame? It's all up to you guys. That's your power. Stick around. We are going to be back for our final ranking of the evening right after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Josh. I like pizza. Do you like pizza?
When the moon heats your eyes like a big pizza pie.
We've let it coagulate. Show Greg, king of coagulation there.
Coagulation is key.
Homemade Greek ranch.
Do you like watching people eat pizza? Help me, because I'm on the quest to find the best pizza in Pittsburgh.
Hand-forged pizza. Bit of Vici. That's amore.
Make sure you're sending in your recommendations for the best pizza in Pittsburgh, because I'm going to go, I'm going to try it, I'm going to hold it to my standards.
It's the aftertaste is the barf. Is where the barf comes in.
I agree. It's bomb pizza.
Can your favorite pizza place pass the test? Find out.
Let's dive right into sports, as I have strong opinions on that. Which college team could beat a professional team in the same sport right now?
Okay.
There is not a single answer that is better than the LSU Tigers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals.
Even if I know the pitch that's coming, every other part of me is still normal.
That's why it's frustrating for me, Greg.
It's like okay, if I know what something is coming, I know ahead of time. I still have to be able to do the action to get the result that I need.
Okay, so they won 3 games in 10 years with 3 rebuilds.
I don't lose at arguments. All right.
Especially about fast food. So yeah.
You will never walk alone. Guess what? Now you will. Coronavirus.
I barely touch my girlfriend's cat. The most I'd be willing to do is like just kind of put my finger on its forehead and just like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us is Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot. We are live with Ryan Smith, professional cornhole player in the ACL. Ryan,
What all franchise were you able to work with in the NHL?
With Phoenix, Carolina, and Detroit.
So here is Moorhead's ranking. Moorhead is my cousin. He is the rank king.
Higher
Top 10 extra Power Rangers.
Oh.
This is the top 10 emo songs of the 2000s.
There's only one correct answer for number 1. Why is F is for Family better than Futurama when Futurama is like Star Wars for potheads? Like
I know. So I think
We have one or two that are mad in the chat.
You're welcome for that.
Okay, we're gonna get banned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you had your piss break, walked and get a hot dog. Do whatever you need to do, 7th inning stretch, because before we get into the ranking, I would be a fool to not promote our new merch that is on tftbstore.com. Shorts, stuff, all the rage. I'm definitely buying that denim baseball hat.
It is pretty dope.
That's
I'll give
for
you that.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much new stuff. You guys were amazing with the t-shirt sales that we had. You know, bronze medal and all, but it doesn't matter. Like, we
medaled.
killed.
We medaled, damn it.
We medaled, and you guys killed that. So why stop now? Keep going. New merch, tftbstore.com. If you don't want to type that in, don't worry about it. Go to our thoughtsfromthebench.com, and there is a link in the website. Go there and buy galore.
Yeah. For anyone who also looks us up, I mean, obviously, the shorts look incredible.
They are nice shorts.
High,
And they have pockets.
Yeah, they have pockets. They
too.
look.
Shorts with pockets are always a nice one.
They're high and
always
tight too. So if anyone wants to show off their thighs and calves and all that, by all means, that's the way to go.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should have TFTB jean shorts.
No.
No.
Bring them back. The jean shorts never died. Bring them back.
Shorts died many years ago.
I still wear
Tell
them
it to John
sometimes.
Cena.
Yeah, John Cena's the only one that can pull them off.
Yes. Thank you guys tune in, get the merch. It's always up there. Thoughts from the bench, tftbstore.com.
And we
All right?
appreciate the bronze medal too.
We do appreciate, 9 shirts sold by us. I couldn't ask for anything else. You guys rock. And you guys will definitely rock when you decide who the hell wins this top 10. Because knowing me, I'd be a fool to pick something like the top 10 baseball moments, the top 10 baseball players. We're going to be talking the top 10 baseball movies today.
This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be fun.
So many films. And again, I made it on myself a little bit harder. I did not tell Keaton because, that's fine. He can choose his own things. He has a different method of picking himself. But I chose movies that didn't quite have the same main actor in it.
Ooh,
so there are many baseball films out there with a certain individual.
And we all know who that is.
Yes. So I went with one of the many options. I wanted to broaden myself out a bit because if there's one thing I do know, it's movies. So we will start off.
Let's hit the intro.
Oh yeah, are we in the intro?
Start off. We're doing the intro.
Yeah.
I'll do the fucking intro. I didn't even know we did it. That's my bad. Do the intro.
On.
I'm sorry. I talk a lot.
We know.
Okay, shit. All right, we're back. I started doing a trumpet noise, and now we're back.
Yeah.
But yes.
I did that on purpose.
I know.
Of course you did. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 ranking for the night is the top 10 baseball movies. I love all these films, man, despite not having a great thing of baseball knowledge.
No, and I love the fact that the challenger for tonight is your own flesh and blood.
Hey, Ian and I did it with the game shows. We got to do it here, brother v brother. And I think, in my retrospective of football knowledge, like between you two, there's a lot of analysts out there, but you two are like the main close people that I know that are huge baseball fanatics that follow shit daily.
Which is why I'm very excited to see his list, because I think there's going to be some interesting picks on here.
There will be. So I'm not going to... Oh, I'm sorry, Key. Did you want to say something?
My list is movies I've seen. There's a lot of great movies I've not seen that I know should definitely be on this list, but I've just not seen them yet.
Well, that's the retrospective how it goes, Key. I'm the same way. If there's a baseball movie I didn't see, I didn't put it on here. So great minds think alike. Only one wears the crown, though. We'll never know, though, until after this.
Except my Instagram handle had the king first. Stole that from me.
Okay.
Oh.
It very well did. It
Truth
did.
comes out.
But all I can say is...
He might steal that crown from you.
Yeah.
Where's your crown? That's all I'm saying.
He's going to take it.
Where's
I
your
don't need
crown?
a crown to be a king.
That's very true. And everyone's a king except me. I am the king. I am the king.
That did
so
make
let's start it
sense.
off.
Let's start it
That
off.
did make sense.
Keen, what do you have at your number 10?
Number 10, Key.
Number 10, Trouble with the Curve.
Ooh,
Underappreciated, yeah.
This is one I haven't seen.
Okay.
Didn't even know about this.
Go ahead, talk about this one for a bit, Key.
Clint Eastwood and Amy Adams are the two main actors. Also, Justin Timberlake stars in the movie.
Oh,
But it is an old. Clint Eastwood's the old guy trying to keep his career alive as a baseball scout, and he needs the help of his daughter to realize that he still cannot be the same scout he is without her. And she helps him find great talent and stay at his high level of scouting in his career.
A couple reasons I do like this movie. Number one is big Amy Adams fan. Just saying, I think she's a great actress. Second one is that it's a movie that also involves the MLB draft, which is a guilty pleasure of mine.
You do love the draft.
I do love the draft. And number three is also John Goodman plays a role in this. A very small role, but he's still in it, and he's a very great actor as well.
Well, Key, I love the pick. But I'm going to go with a number 10, a movie that personified fun to me as a kid. Because as a kid, wouldn't you love to manage a team?
Oh, no.
So number 10,
Yep.
Little Big League.
Oh, geez. I haven't seen this movie in forever.
I have this
This
on
is a
DVD.
cult classic. I think we still have this at the house on VHS.
I think cult classic is a little bit loose, but
I know that
appreciate
we upgraded to DVD, but I know that this movie for me was just about fun. I mean, fortunately, like the kid's grandfather dies, who manages the Minnesota Twins. And he leaves the Twins to his grandson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who the hell wouldn't want that, man? I mean, growing up, loving the sport, now you got to manage a team.
Yeah.
Like, hell yes.
Well, he owned the team. And
he
owned the team, and then
managing.
he decided to make himself the manager.
Yes, true. Okay, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes. I mean, there are just amazing scenes from this movie. The fact of the cameo from Ken Griffey Jr. in this movie was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the funniest scenes I remember was just the kid looking at the one guy who rolled his chewing tobacco up in bubble gum and then put it back in his mouth. I was like,
that's disgusting. Yeah.
Disgusting, but funny. Yes, because it's like, we aren't in the little leagues anymore. We're in the big leagues. There was another scene that I cherished, and it was when the one guy walked, and instead of walking to first base, he ran down the first base line. And then all I hear is, wait a minute, he's trying for second. He is like just bullshit little plays like that added to an MLB setting.
Yeah.
Is
He brings the little league to the big leagues.
Right.
There, you see, you're learning.
Brings
Bro.
a strategy.
But yeah, my number 10, Little Big League. I cherish that film more than a lot of other films. Key, what do we got on here for yours at number 9?
Number 9, I got a great humor movie. Second one just came out. It was not as good as the first one, but Benchwarmers is my number 9 for baseball movies. It is always a great laugh to watch 3 old geezers take on little kids in a game of baseball.
Well, not just 3 geezers, 3 nerds. 3 nerd geezers.
3 nerd geezers.
I love, because actually, funny story, we rented the Benchwarmers where Keaton is at currently. We rented the Benchwarmers at Myrtle Beach and watched it with our family and my grandmother.
Did she like that?
Naturally, there was a lot of shit that made everyone a little uncomfortable in the room, but still.
There's a couple scenes in there that get a little too raunchy.
I am 12.
I am 12 in Green Crown.
That part was hilarious.
Or the end of the movie Under the Table.
Oh yeah,
with the sunscreen.
Yeah.
Could
you imagine having a field that looks like that one though that they play the championship?
Well, this is the movie that I said that had like the water slide and everything in the background.
Yeah.
Like that was dope. I mean, the guy was he called himself a gazillionaire, which obviously isn't a real number.
No,
he's like, oh, and I remember just this was also one of my big things for like mimicking voices was John Heater in this movie. She's like, oh, idiot, what are you doing? Just glorious. The fact that they had to tape his hands to the bat just so he wouldn't throw the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first was, that's my Miata, kill him. And then like
I would love to own one of the baseball cards from that movie.
Oh yeah. Just the training.
42 killed squirrels.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All his stats on there, they were amazing.
Oh god, yeah.
But don't watch the second one.
Yeah, don't watch the second one. It's trash. Key, appreciate the Benchwarmers being on there. I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1 spoiler. It is not on my list.
You know what? I looked this up because I was curious. When we did sports movies earlier in the show, you had it as one of the most underrated baseball movies.
I did.
And it's not on your top 10.
So, but it's underrated for a reason, but it's not top 10.
I just thought that was funny, though. A little ironic.
There's
Can you
consistency.
see what your hair these days?
But what do you have as number 9, Austin?
Number 9, I don't watch romance movies often, but when you mix them with comedy and you mix them with baseball, you get a terrific chemistry with one Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. Number 9, Fever Pitch.
Okay. I was not expecting this to be on your top 10, but I appreciate it.
I love this film.
I appreciate it.
Even as a Yankees fan.
Yeah, I know. Surprisingly, right? Even as a Yankees fan, that's how much I appreciate it. Because a lot of it has to do with just the obvious back and forth of a person that is obsessed and has inherited seats in the Red Sox to now trying to impress this woman who is not a baseball fan to try to like it and be a part of his life with this. There's multiple scenes from this that I enjoy. The foul ball that hits her directly in the skull and like knocks her out cold in like the middle of the game. There's that. And then you have the obvious scene that I appreciate so much is the ending scene, where in order to stop him from selling the seats, she goes and jumps onto the field and runs around the field, goes to him, rips the contract in half, and just kisses him. Like, it is by far one of the greatest
You cried,
scenes.
didn't you? Yeah.
Dude, I might have. A tear was there. I don't know if I fully cried, but it was there. And then obviously you have the backstory that went afterward, which described the end of the Curse of the Bambino, which was amazing. You went through that whole series with the bloody sock and everything that went on. You couldn't have it not on this list.
Well, when they made this movie too, like this came out, I'm pretty sure, like when they filmed everything, it was before 2004 World Series happened. So when it came out, that's when they had to like kind of scramble and put the whole thing together too.
Exactly. Which, you know, you can think on your feet and you produce magic. So we'll see if Keaton can produce magic right here at his number 8 spot.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna piggyback off your number 9 because my number 8 is Fever Pitch. As a part Red Sox fan, I love this movie. I love the romantic edition with the baseball story with all this, and loving the ending with her running around the field, and definitely the other scene you added with the getting knocked out cold with the baseball across the eye and having to go back to his house, apartment, and having peas laying across her face, frozen peas on her face, as she has a black eye. But yeah, it's just definitely one of my top 10 favorite baseball movies that involves a great team and a great story at the end with them winning the World Series and the 4-3 comeback over the Yankees. David Ortiz, the great Poppy.
Not bitter about it, but it's a great movie. So we'll go to my number 8. You could argue a little bit that this is kind of like Us. You put a bunch of misfits together and you create magic, so to speak. Number 8, the original Bad News Bears.
I'm glad that you said the OG Bad News Bears because I agree.
Yes,
the OG is a great one.
Just rough and tough kids, like literally just not knowing a lot about the sport of baseball and then going out there and just beating people up and swearing and like all this other shenanigans that went along. And a coach that is obviously way past his prime and just like, listen here, you little shits. Like, this is how it's going to go. Like, it's by far what you would want to see out of like a quarter like backyard style game. Like just talking shit to each other, always knowing that you're going to get under the other person's skin. You don't have to like each other, but you will respect the movie. Bad News Bears at 8.
And shout out to Chico's Bail Bonds for being the sponsor of them.
It's a great sponsor for a little league team.
It is.
Keiki, number 7.
My number 7 is, as you stated earlier, it is Little Big League, another great film from my childhood, as we watched as a kid all the time. And as a huge baseball fan, to be that kid would be my dream of owning a baseball team. And then my favorite scene is when he outsmarts at that time the manager of his team, and then after outsmarting says, "All right, you're fired," because he wanted nothing to do. He knew he was smarter than someone who thought he was better than being working for a little kid and being outsmarted by someone who is not even an adult yet about a game that he's been coaching probably his whole life. But yes, Little Big League is my 7th favorite baseball movie.
Okay.
I mean, number 10, number 7, they're not too far apart, Key, so I appreciate that pick. We're going to go to my number 7, a movie that I had just actually found recently.
Okay.
Surprisingly, of how old it was. But my number 7 is The Rookie.
Oh, the Dennis Quaid
Dennis
one.
Quaid,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was a good one.
I mean, it is the typical story of like a person that wants to make it into, you know, the major of their sport. And before that even happens, they suffer an injury. So in order to come back that, you know, most of them start coaching. And the fact of the matter that a deal was struck with his team that if they win the district championship, he will try for the majors again. Married with children. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. When we talked about the age of these guys, Like, you can play baseball for a long time.
You can.
If you do it right.
You can.
So having that aspect of a dream never dying, despite injury, made this film so enjoyable. Just a great, great pick for me at number 7.
4 just says horrible pick.
Fuck you. All right, Key. Number 6.
My number 6 is 42, The Story of Jackie Robinson.
I saw this in theaters. This was very well done.
It is by far a very great movie if you are a baseball fan and love seeing the pastime what baseball was, in that the future Jackie Robinson was able to give to other African American people in this great sport of baseball.
And Chadwick Boseman playing Jackie Robinson too.
Well, Key, all I can say is great minds think alike. My 6 is also 42.
Mm-hmm.
And just
So
to
that means
piggyback
it's a
off,
good pick, right?
it is. Great minds thinking alike. All the stuff that you said and times 10. This movie produced so much of like an elder time, like with all like the issues of everything that was going on, with how amazing Jackie Robinson was, and Boseman killed this role.
Yeah,
like just amazing. So yeah, I can't say anything else more than that. My 6, 42. Love that we had the same one. Key, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is about a great group of misfits that you've already discussed. The Bad News Bears original movie, being coached by a drunken lunatic of a man, and that team being saved by a female and the town's least favorite kid becoming their second greatest player. But yes, Bad News Bears, the OG, is my 5th greatest baseball movie.
I mean, you can't hate them. I mean, we talk about us all the time at Thoughts for the Bench. I mean, literally a group of misfits that come together and produce magic. I mean, that's literally what it is. You can love us, you can hate us, do whatever you want. I mean, we're here to please the audience. That's what we do each and every show, each and every week.
We are
so
people
we thank
pleasers.
you.
We
are a couple. I mean, yeah, I would say I'm in that category now. My knee started hurting just a little bit ago. My knee started hurting just a little bit ago, so I guess that suffice.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if you please them with the number 5 pick.
Yeah, what do you got?
We'll see. I might please some. I might piss a lot of people off. I thought this was a terrific movie. I just couldn't put it any higher than this. I know a lot of masses are going to be mad. Now, my number 5, Moneyball.
I understand this. I understand. It does deserve to be in the top 5, I feel, but I understand why. I could also understand like some other movies that might deserve to be higher as well. You can make the argument, but I do understand it.
Maybe it's just the statistics side of it that I wasn't like a big fan of, just putting like more of an aspect on baseball than the actual sport of baseball. Maybe that's what it is. But I mean, still great film. I mean,
it's based
Brad
on a true
Pitt.
story.
That's also true, yeah.
Didn't we do that a while ago?
We did.
Movies based on true.
Noticing a trend on that one.
It might be. But yes, I couldn't leave it off the list. I mean, it is a wonderful film. I just couldn't put it any higher than 5. So my number 5, Moneyball.
That's completely fair.
What do you got at 4, Key?
My number 4 is another group of misfits, but they're not as misfitty as the Bad News Bears. But this is a group of neighborhood boys losing assigned baseball. It is
at
4.
Keedy, I'm so excited to see what you have in the top 3.
This just got a whole lot of
so excited. I'm so excited to see what you have in the top 3 now. I do agree. This also deserves top 5. Sandlot, I remember having the VHS for this. I loved this movie when I was a kid.
But you got to tell me something here, Key. I mean, like, are the other movies just better, or do you just not appreciate the great American dream of childhood of baseball, backyard baseball with this?
I mean, in my opinion, other movies are just better.
Okay. All right. I can't hate it. I have the same opinions on some certain things, but Sandlot at 4 is a little shocking, but to say the least. But you got to have that shock.
That's why I'm so fascinated to see what his top 3 are, because these can be very debatable.
This is going to be good. My number 4, just the whole aspect of women in baseball was revolutionized by this film. Gotta love Tom Hanks. A League of Their Own.
There's no crying in baseball. Underappreciated movie, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember just watching this as a kid and just being like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. Because in that aspect as a kid, like, you're still in that thing where you're like, well, like, in like the childhood era, like, oh yeah, boys are better than girls and everything. Hell no to that. This movie knocked the shit out of that aspect.
Yeah.
This was great.
Couple of things about this one that I remember. One, Madonna was in this, and she was awesome. Also, Hulu is doing a series of A League of Their Own. It's been filming in Pittsburgh, actually, for the last few weeks. And Nick Offerman is playing the role that Tom Hanks was in. And I love me some Nick Offerman.
That'll be
amazing.
I can't wait for that.
That's going to be cool as hell. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. We're in our top 3, Key.
Yes, and with my number 3 selection, I will take the original, the first Major League.
3!
I'm totally cool with top 3. Totally cool with top 3.
Is good.
Top
three
3
is good.
deserves top 3.
Yeah.
I love this movie so much. I love this movie.
Austin Shaw.
I'm so confused. I mean, I think I know where you're going, but damn, I'm shocked.
I freaking love this movie.
I'm shooketh. I'm shook up to the core. Why at 3, Key?
Who doesn't like an ownership trying to sell their team and move to a different location? And instead, the young, scrubby players she brought in and the old savvy veterans leading their team to a game in which they get clobbered by the good old White Sox. We love to see the trading and everything in the big train. But yes, Major League, Big Rick Vaughn. Number 3.
This is
I get. This is gonna get interesting.
I get goosebumps.
It'd be my top 3 for sure.
In the scene where they're about to take the field against the Yankees in the playoff game to go to the pennant, that gives me goosebumps seeing the crowd just uproar like crazy like that. Like, that's awesome.
All right, my number 3, and all I have to say is, if you build it, they will come. Number 3, Field of Dreams.
Oh my God, I was not expecting it to be this one.
Wow. Right?
Oh my God, I'm kind of mad at you that you don't have the other one in here now.
I went, Greg, I had legitimate. It was a 30-minute conversation in my head of the positives and negatives. And I went with this one, man, because I, as much as the other one maybe appreciated more, I appreciated it more watching it as a viewer. And my list, my thing, I couldn't leave it off here, man.
What's the other one?
I just couldn't.
So, do you remember earlier when we were talking about how there's one actor that's in multiple movies?
Yeah.
Kevin Costner.
Which one?
He's in like 4 different baseball movies.
Right. The other one is Bull Durham.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I went literally. It was like a 30-minute conversation.
I grew up watching this more so than
I grew up. I do agree. I grew up watching Field of Dreams, but Bull Durham is an absolute classic. Susan Sarandon is great in it. Nuke Lanouche is one of the coolest names I've ever seen for a baseball player. But Nuke Lanouche. But I will give you credit. Field of Dreams is still a phenomenal movie. I will never disagree.
I mean,
on
they're
that
playing
one.
the game there, right? Coming up.
Yeah.
This
the Yankees and White Sox. I don't know if it's this weekend or next weekend, but yeah, they're playing in the same cornfield that Field of Dreams was filmed in.
That's gonna be sweet.
That'll be pretty cool. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah.
Watch that.
All right, Key. Number 2.
My number 2 is watching the good old League of Their Own. Is my number 2. I do love the good old Tom Hanks and being a former slugger for the Cubs, now having to manage women in baseball. And he, as a drunk man that he was not happy to be stuck with that job. But yes, no crying in baseball always go down as one of my favorite lines of a baseball movie. But yes, League of Their Own. is my number 2 on this top 10.
I mean, I can't hate it because, like we said, Tom Hanks, whenever we think of like that movie, like we think, you know, the role that Tom Hanks put into it and everything of how great he was. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do this with the series because I think that a lot of people are going to obviously make that comparison between the two.
Yeah.
I don't think you should. I think you should give it a chance, make it its own thing.
Oh, absolutely.
See what it does. So,
Hey, Austin, remember, there's no crying when you lose the challenge.
I don't cry ever except when melodramas are on. So, number 2 for me, how can you not put this at 2? Number 2, The Sandlot.
Yeah, I love this.
I mean,
This
was
my number 1, honestly.
This is childhood, man. Like, this is every time, like, this is The Neighborhood. Like, right? Like, you're a kid in the neighborhood. You go, maybe you're a little socially awkward and shit like I was. Who the hell knows? But you find a group of kids and you go play baseball. Like, that's literally what you did. This was Vo, because Vo was always outside.
Yeah.
No wonder you love this one so
Then you
much.
have that neighbor that scares everybody, scares all the kids. You don't know his whole life story, you know?
Exactly. It is the always misconception of judging a book by its cover.
Yep.
The beast.
And just the aspect of the beast made this movie longing
I love that.
forever.
I love that the name of the beast was Hercules, too.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yes. Yes. So that's my number 2. Key, I kind of think I know where you're going with number 1, but give it to me anyway.
You hurt my feelings when this movie was so not in your top 3, but it's Moneyball for me. I love the statistics usage of baseball, and Billy Beane, as someone who's a fan of a small market team in Pittsburgh, to take the scrubby money he had for the Athletics and to take that team that he built with Peter Brand and take that team to a 21-game win streak with the crappy money that is in Oakland.
I have
a question for you, Greg.
Okay, go ahead.
Where would this be on your list? Because I feel like this is your type of movie.
Well, here's the thing. It's a good movie, but my problem is that I have too many great memories with other baseball movies that it's hard for me to put in there. So, real quick, I'm just going to point this out here. 3 movies that I'm very surprised that neither of you have on your top 10, and I don't think you're going to have these at number 1. I'm very surprised you don't have Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
It's 11 if it's on there.
Yeah.
It's 11 if it's on there.
Rookie of the Year, I'm surprised you don't have on there. Bull Durham, I'm surprised you don't have on here, which I understand you did go back and forth on. And The Natural.
Yeah.
The Natural, I'm very
I
surprised you
think
don't
I've
have that
seen
on.
that one.
Oh, that's a classic. Robert Redford. Oh, such a good movie. Wonder Boy, the bat that he uses. Oh.
Hardball? Is it?
Hardball's another one, too. Hardball's a great one, too, actually.
I even thought for a moment in time, I mean, it wouldn't be number 1. I don't even know if it'd be in the top, maybe in the top 15, but another one I grew up with so much is Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
So good.
I've seen the original one, too, which was actually with the Pirates. That was also interesting, too.
Yeah,
but Angels in the Outfield would have been a great one, too.
Derek knows very well if he's watching that if it was anything other than this at number 1, he'd be disappointed because of how I grew up with this movie. My dad showed me this film, and it was an instant classic that I enjoyed. Wild Thing, You Make My Heart Sing, Major League.
Oh, it's so great. There's so many great scenes in it, too. Personal favorite of mine is the one where I've brought this up on 2 Years Deep before, but it's like the one where Ed Harris has all the stuff on his body that he's trying to use, which is the joke about using stuff for pitches.
Yeah.
It's like it's Bengay, Vagisil, and he also used Bardol, and then also the snot ball that he uses with jalapeno juice and stuff. That's great. It's great.
There's just so many good things about this movie. So many scenes I remember. Obviously, you can't forget the announcing. The announcing was amazing.
Oh, Bob Uecker was
Bob Uecker,
was classic.
literally. And here's the pitch. Ah, shit.
That's how an announcer should be.
You can't forget the Euchre, you can't forget those fans in the outfield.
Oh,
It's too high. It's too high. What do you mean it's too high? The ball was too high.
Also,
Another one that I hold dearly is when Willie Mays Hayes is running to second, and he goes up to the guys, I got it! And he runs past.
Classic ones. And then when Serrano wants to sacrifice a live chicken for some extra power, they end up giving him the KFC
Serrano
ball.
needs.
Oh.
And I remember a big thing from Major League, the sequel, Major League 2, where he has the little totem and everything that he has. Oh my God, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can't forget Rick Vaughn.
Nope.
The specs. Rodrigo Blankenship would be proud to see those specs.
Yeah.
It's just overall, this is the #1 baseball movie. It actually took me a while to actually go back and forth with Major League and The Sandlot. I think The Sandlot holds a place in childhood. Major League holds a spot in growing up.
Mm-hmm. And there's and even if you pay attention in Major League 2, there's all these little quips and stuff that you might not notice. Like in the first game against the Yankees, when Haywood steps up to bat and he goes into the batter's box and he says to Jake Taylor, he's like, "Hey Taylor, I didn't know you were back in the league. How's my wife and kids doing?"
Yeah.
It's little things like that.
It's little things like that. They were just so fucking funny.
Yeah, this I think might be a tough one to decide, but that is what you are for, the people. We will put these up on social. Did Keaton finally find a way to crack the ranks and knock it out of the park in order to steal the crown, or will the Rank King remain supreme in a grand slam walk-off that he just knew he should have won from the beginning?
I will admit that you guys have a lot of stuff that's very close. I will give you that.
It is. I mean, we had a lot of the same. I mean, we grew up in the same household, so there's a lot of the same movies on here.
You
So
did miss one other good one, Mr. 3000. Did you ever watch that?
That's underappreciated. Yes,
underappreciated. I appreciate.
I used to watch that one all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one of the worst ones that I've ever seen, since we're naming ones. Ed. If you guys have ever seen that one with the monkey. Good old guy from Friends.
Yeah.
Plays the. It's just so it's bad. It's a really bad film, but watching it as a kid, you're like, this monkey's playing baseball.
Yeah.
This is insane.
It's dumb.
But then you realize this is a shit movie. But this was a wonderful, wonderful episode. Keaton, thank you for being on here as a guest with your baseball knowledge. We look forward to any content or any that you produce going into with the baseball season, if you so choose, because I know Elsas is missing his coffee.
He's still waiting.
And his cubbies.
He's still waiting.
Oh, damn.
Those cubbies can continue to be terrible for the future.
But yes, thank you once again. Thank you to everyone watching. Again, I can't plug enough stuff. Go check out the merch that we have once again on the store. Wonderful, wonderful attire. Buy the hats, buy the shorts, buy everything. Buy it all.
Everything.
Buy us out. Everything. You can always find us here on Twitch on Tuesdays at 6:30, the RankKing's Court. You have the Draft Day Boys that are on Mondays at 8, and you have Two Beers Deep, the flagship show that is on at 7. I don't know why I almost said 6. Yes.
It's okay. You're used to Deke time.
I am used to Deke time. And then also, as I burp.
It's all that Taco Bell coming back now.
Oh, it's coming back.
Talk about hits.
You cannot forget the boys on Friday with the Vault. Go there for all your Jersey content. I still have to watch the episode that Deke's been clamoring me to watch.
It was a good one.
It was good.
I need to get on it. Smalls and Benny, you guys do your work. We love you, man. And then check us out with Derek and myself on Sundays for the fantasy football mix-up show. We really don't have a name for it. We just call it blah.
It's a work in progress.
Everything in there. And then, Greg, is there a beer review?
There is a beer review this weekend, yes. This will probably be the one that is the sloppiest, more than likely.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I can take from Billy Madison, they like 'em sloppy. Thank you once again. We'll be back here with a new topic next week. Until then, boys, we'll put these on social. Vote. Until then, you've been warned. Court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned.